we will discuss the revolution of 1911 in Chinese history. So, the revolution of 1911 successfully overthrew the monarchy. The last monarchy was Qing Dynasty in China, and then overthrowing the monarchy, the Chinese politicians, they could establish a constitution and a republican system. So, that is the importance of the revolution of 1911, that it actually radically shifted Chinese system, China, from monarchy to republic. Now, in 2011, a film was made by Jackie Chan, the very famous Hong Kong actor, director, and Lee Chang, another filmmaker from mainland China, later who settled in Hong Kong. These two filmmakers, to commemorate the 100 year of 1911's revolution, made a film. The title of the film is also 1911. It's an action genre film, because you know that Jackie Chan is an expert of that kind of genre. Also, he is a very eloquent actor, a very important film personality in Hong Kong and in world cinema. So, this film showed the history of that period of China, from 1910 to 11 to the early 1912. This 2-3 years, the events of these 2-3 years are depicted in this film. The film projected two characters. One character is Sun Yat Sen, Sun Wen, also he is referred as Sun Wen or Sun Yat Sen, who is known as the father of Chinese Republic. And another revolutionary character, Huang, he was also a close associate of Sun Yat Sen. The film shows how these two characters, these two important historical figures, Sun and Huang, they are organizing a revolution against uprisings and revolutions against Qing Dynasty rule, and they actually put the last nail to Qing Dynasty's coffin, and China transformed from monarchy towards republic. Though the film is a action genre film, so there are huge kind of action sequences, but still the drama presented in the film is very interestingly carrying the spirit of 1911 revolution. The 1911 revolution was inevitable. If we look at 19th century history of China, where we can find Opium War to Taiping Rebellion to Boxer uprising. Opium War took place late 1930s to 1960. The Taiping Rebellion took place from 1950 to 1960, and Boxer uprising took place in the fag end of the 19th century. After that, the Qing Dynasty was also weakened by the foreign invasion and foreign control, and the domestic uprisings and rebellions broke the spine of Qing Dynasty, Qing rule. And finally, China moved to that point 1911 revolution, which dramatically changed the course of China's journey in history, and China emerged as a modern republic. Now, the film starts with a very dramatic incident that which found Sun Yat Sen at a foreign city, San Francisco. His associate Huang Xing was also with him, and they are trying to plan a last blow on the Qing Dynasty. Before that, both Huang and Sun Yat Sen, they were in Japan for a long time, and in the film, that reference frequently comes. That the reference of Japan, the reference of Europe, the reference of USA, and how the revolution actually were supported by the diaspora Chinese, by the Chinese who were living in Europe and USA, and who contributed funds to the revolutionaries, and how the revolution was organized by Sun Yat Sen and Huang using the Japanese soil, using the European and North American soils. So that was important. That's in that sense, 1911's revolution is not a revolution of only national character. It had an international character. It had connection with the Chinese who were living outside China too. Particularly, the Japan played a very important role in shaping 1911's revolution, at least shaping the revolutionary opinions, which also we find in the film. The film also gives us the cue of different other incidents which took place in Sun Yat Sen and Huang Xing's life. Japan was the first Asian country which was industrialized thoroughly. After Meiji Restoration in the middle of 19th century, in late 1860s, after Meiji Restoration, Japan moved out from older system of production to new system of production, industrialized system of production, and very quickly Japan started controlling East Asia, changed its mode of production, and gained huge power. Japan also beat Russia. Japan conquered South Korea, and the progress of Japan in many ways, the development of Japan in many ways was evident in the fag end of 19th century and early 20th century. So, Chinese intellectuals, students, scholars, they used to go to Japan to get educated in modern arts, modern science, technology, medicine, and Japan also extended its protection to those scholars and students and intellectuals who were moving against the Qing Dynasty rule and who were trying to bring a constitutional rule in China. Sun Yat Sen, the protagonist of the film which we are discussing, was also one such person. He was educated in British missionary schools, and then he went to Japan. He took education from there. Then he went to Europe, got a degree in medicine, and became a physician in surgery and medicine, and became a physician. Then he declared himself as a professional revolutionary. That we find in the movie, that Sun Yat Sen and Huang Xing, they are declared themselves as professional revolutionaries and trying to put an end to Qing rule. But the problem was that which Sun Yat Sen, his leadership, his charismatic leadership resolved was very important. Because in late 19th century China, there were several uprisings, several revolts, and there was discontent all over the country. There was opinions against Qing rule, Manchu government, but all were kind of in a disparate state. Nothing was consolidating, and there was no coordination between the rebellion groups, between the revolts, between the leaders of the uprisings, and the intellectuals who are writing against Qing government. There was no coordination. The film shows how Sun Yat Sen, particularly Sun Yat Sen, and also his associate Huang, they invested their whole energy to coordinate, to create a coordination between those rebel groups.
咁就由我嚟全面接管對臨時大總統嘅保衞啊！影相啦，企好啦，各位企好啦，全部都望住呢度啊！
Also, one problem of Chinese uprisings and rebellions in China was funding, because the army was under Qing government, the police was under Qing government, the money power was with them, with the government, and the uprisings and rebellion, the leaders of uprisings and rebellions, they are falling short of fund, and all their attempts, most of their attempts were failed. One after one attempts were failed.
開門啦，黃克強！快啲開門啦，黃克強！我知道你喺裡面嘅，你開門啦，黃克強！ 你想做乜嘢啊，黃克強？你快啲放低把刀！你俾把刀我啊！
你放開我！
俾我啊！你做咩啊？你做咩啊你？你唔可以死㗎！我知道你眼白白睇住佢哋全部都死晒，我知道。 我哋呢次失敗咗。
我冇想死啊，鐘漢！我要留住呢隻手，揸槍。你幫下我，同我斬咗佢。冇啊！只係失敗啫嘛，又唔係未敗過。
冇啊！阿強。
At that time, Sun Yat Sen, since he was educated in Western education, he was a modern man, he was enlightened and a charismatic person. He actually concentrated on these two areas. One was collection of fund, and second was coordinating, to establish a coordination between these disparate groups. The film very meticulously shows that how Sun Yat Sen is moving from Japan to Europe, Europe to USA, and once again USA to Europe, and then finally he was back in China. But he was continuously trying to collect money, continuously trying to mobilize fund, so that the rebellion groups, they can organize their revolts more efficiently. The film begins with a small sequence, title sequence, where we find that a woman who looks like very upright, she is being executed by the Qing army, Qing police. The name of this lady is Qiu Jin. Qiu Jin was a educationist, she was a poet, she was a journalist, and a very vocal supporter of revolution in China to overthrow Qing Dynasty monarchy from power and to embrace the constitution and republic. Qiu Jin was, since she wrote against Xing rule, and she wanted to plot a revolutionary, a rebel. She was caught by the police, and finally she declined to agree with the terms of the Qing rulers, and she was executed. The film starts with the event, the incident of her execution.
之烈犧牲之價值，竟令我喺呢一刻至心底喜極而泣。
Later, she was remembered in Chinese history. She is remembered in Chinese history as a great hero of 1911's revolution. Incidentally, Qiu Jin, she was also educated in Japan. She took her higher education in Japan, and after coming back to China, she became more vocal, and she was a feminist too, who actually from our very childhood revolted against the Confucian traditional framework of society. The film then moves to a sequence where Sun Yat Sen and Huang Xing, they are in a brief conversation in US land, and finally Huang Xing returns to China to organize a revolutionary attempt, to organize a uprising, the revolt famous in history as Canton Revolution. That revolution was tried, the revolution was attempted in April 1911. But though the revolution failed, Huang Xing's attempt failed, and in the Canton Revolution, the peasants, the students, a part of army, and they joined. But most of the revolutionaries, they died. They faced a severe attack from the Qing army and police, and most of them were died. So later, all those who fell in that Canton Revolution, they were given the status of martyr, and the film highlighted that sequence. let us have a very quick question answer session. Who made the film 1911? The answer is Jackie Chan and Lee Chang made the film 1911. What is the occasion of the making of the Hong Kong film 1911? The film 1911 was made to commemorate the 100 year of the revolution of 1911. Who was known as the father of the revolution of 1911? There are three options. One is Mao Zedong, 2 Sun Yat Sen, 3 Huang. The correct answer is Sun Yat Sen. He was known as the father of the revolution of 1911 in China. Let's come back to resume our discussion. Then the film shows Jackie Chan and Lee Chang's film shows to us that Sun Yat Sen and Huang, they are trying to observe what is happening in China every day, every moment. The changes are taking place in China, and one after one failure. Actually, Huang he became, in the movie we see that he is becoming impatient, but Sun Yat Sen still every moment is trying to organize, coordinate and raise fund for the revolution.
先嚟知道參加起義嘅各路義士，我同佢哋更加相熟，方便統籌安排啊！
強詞奪理，我呢隻手揸到筆，揸到手術刀，點解就揸唔到槍啊？
清廷仲有呢度通緝令㗎，你得一個人頭咋？你要回國領導起義，咁就係不負責任。
The final break they got from a rebellion of 300 dissident soldiers. We just should take a note on this, that Qing rulers, they formed an army troop which was known as New Army, and the New Army was equipped with modern weapons, and they were tactically also more modernized. So that New Army time and again could be successful. They successfully destroyed the rebellions and uprisings. So Huang was trying to intervene in that New Army troop, and he finally could convince several soldiers and middle rank, lower rank officers in favor of the revolution. From the New Army soldiers group, some 300 soldiers, they declared revolt against Qing authority and Qing government. It is October 1911. Though they were only 300 in number, it was known as Wuchang revolution, Wuchang revolt. Though they were only 300 in number, the government official force was much larger, but still they fought a heroic battle, and finally the Governor General and the commander of New Army fled from the city Wuchang, and Wuchang finally fell, and the revolutionaries, the soldiers who revolted, they took control of Wuchang. It was a silver lining for Huang and Sun Yat Sen, that success is coming gradually. And by December 1911, that revolt, Wuchang revolt, took place in October 1911. By December 1911, the revolutionaries with joy observed that most of the southern provinces, central provinces and northeastern provinces, most of the provinces, they declared independence against Qing government and Qing rule. They declared independence against the monarchy. So finally the Qing empress decided to abdicate. They left power to a person whose name is Yuan Shikai. Yuan Shikai was new army general and prime minister too. So the empress handed over power to Yuan Shikai in 10th March 1912. Yuan Shikai, the film shows also that incident, that Yuan Shikai, he was a very cunning kind of person, neither a revolutionary nor a republican, but incidentally he got power. And since the Qing empress abdicated on 12th February 1912, in March 1912, Yuan Shikai, as a prime minister, he became the head of the government on a condition that when the new constitution will be written and parliamentary election would happen, he would transfer power to the elected government. And another the incident was parallelly taking place, that Sun Yat Sen and Huang, they came back to China. Sun Yat Sen came back to China just before the Nanking provincial assembly was trying to elect the president. Just before that, they declared independence from Qing rule. So that moment, the film shows that Sun Yat Sen dramatically reached there, and the assembly, Nanking assembly, declared him that as the first republican president. But on the other side, in Peking, the empress transferred power to Yuan Shikai. According to a provisional constitution, Yuan became the prime minister. So in order to avoid the conflict, Sun Yat Sen stepped down and he agreed to accept Yuan Shikai as the republican president of China. That film more or less ends here, but there is a future of this revolution of 1911. 1911 did not solve the problem of China in one day. It continued a kind of anarchic state, a kind of power mongering by Yuan Shikai that continued from 1912 to 1916, and then also the warlords in different parts of China, they started fighting each other, and there was a situation of chaos. The chaos finally resolved in 1928 when the Kuomintang, the party of Sun Yat Sen, they could entirely capture power in Beijing, and they could establish a stability in China. Sun Yat Sen established a group called Tongmenhui in China. The Tongmenhui actually coordinated among the disparate revolutionaries, and Tongmenhui became a very important, and he played a very important and instrumental role in the revolution of 1911. That group was led by Sun Yat Sen. Later, Tongmin and 3 other groups, they came to one platform and they dissolved into a party called Kuomintang Party. Sun Yat Sen led that Kuomintang Party, and Kuomintang Party, that party actually established a proper constitutional republic in 1928, but the revolution of 1911, it has an immense importance in Chinese history, because it is the moment of transition that China freed herself from the rule of monarchy, and China entered into a new era with the successful revolution of the 1911. Let's take very quick 2 questions. Which group Sun Yat Sen established? The name of the group is Tongmen. The question number 2, who was Chu Qin? Chu Qin was a feminist revolutionary of China who was executed by the Qing rulers in 1911. Question number 3, what was the party established by Sun Yat Sen? The name of the party is Kuomintang. With this, let us wind up this lecture. Thank you very much.